was in school, there was an event for the game Super Smash Brothers, which me and my friend, we'll call him Thing 1, decided to go to. During that event, we got to play against each other a little bit, and he completely destroyed me. I mean, I could barely get a stock from him, which is a life for those of you that don't play Super Smash Brothers. Fast forward a few months, and we end up being roommates with the guy who ran that event. We'll call him Thing 2. He had a copy of Smash that we could play at any time. We also got to play with him, and he was on another level of skill compared to either of us. Thing 1 was still better than me at the start, so I would lose relatively often. It was even worse when I played against Thing 2, who was leagues better than me. But I kept playing. I would especially try to play with Thing 2 as much as possible, even though I'd lose over 95% of the matches we played. Because every time I lost, I would improve just a little, because he would often point out the things that I was doing wrong. With each criticism, I would internalize it and try to incorporate that critique into my gameplay, and sure enough, I got better. So much, in fact, that Thing 1, the guy who would demolish me before, could hardly even win a match against me anymore. He even commented on this, saying that he cannot understand when or how I improved so much. I was not even obsessively playing the game either, but when I did play the game, I played it knowing I would fail, and looking out for what improvements I could take from that failure. This is something I think everyone should acknowledge. Everyone will fail. I don't care how skilled you think you are at your trade. There will come a point where you will make a misstep and mess something up. Humans are imperfect creatures, so this is inevitable. However, that does not mean that you have to quit. I cannot tell you how many people I see quitting as soon as they come across any difficulty whatsoever. That is a horrible mindset. You learn nothing unless you fail, because if you succeed, that means whatever you were doing was already within the realm of your competence. This means that you are not pushing your limits to expand your boundaries. The world is in a constant state of decay, so if you are not actively progressing against that, you will fall behind. Going back to the Smash Bros. Story, my friend was only playing a majority of his matches with me, someone below his skill level, so he would never improve. Since I was playing with Thing 2, I was able to improve by facing a player more skilled than myself. That is how I was able to surpass Thing 1, and that is how you can surpass any limit you think you have. I do not mean to say that you have to fail at every turn. That is just demoralizing, and at some point it will not teach you anything, because if you are failing that often, the content is likely far out of your reach. There is a concept called the zone of proximal development, and it was developed by the psychologist Lev Vygotsky in the late 19th century. It is basically the concept that there are zones of your knowledge. There are things you can do and things you can't do. In between those two zones, there are things you can do with a little help. It is within that zone, the things you can do with help, that you will grow the most in your chosen pursuit. In my case, I was able to improve in Smash because I had my friend, who was better than me, showing me things I could learn to improve my gameplay. I was able to do those things, I just needed someone to show me how to do them at first before I could apply them. This is why some classes feel impossible for some, but relatively rewarding for others. It is because each person has their own zones of proximal development, and they need to find what pace fits their needs before they can achieve optimal growth. You can apply this as well with your hobbies, if they have a learning curve to them. This will not only help you progress, but they will also feel far more rewarding. Now, that's all I want to say for this video. Let me know how you guys deal with failure. For me, I typically try to diagnose it, see what went wrong, and try not to repeat the behavior in the future so that I don't run into the same problem. I think this is an effective strategy since it's worked so far, but we'll see how well it works in the future, I guess. But yeah, other than that, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe if you wanna, and as always, stay prosperous.